watchers, and welcome to a totally flawed movie review tonight. Tonight I've been watching a film called Under Siege. Right, okay, right. What I'm gonna do is do a review of this one, then do a review of the other one afterwards. So I'll do them like separate, so that I can put the scenes together and all that stuff. That's what I do now because it's easier. Because that my brain is fresh, you see, when I watch the movie. I don't like to watch a film and wait days after to do a review of it. What's the point? So anyways, first Under Siege. It's a 1992 film. Stars Tommy Lee Jones, Steven Seagal, okay, right. Let's read about it. It's not a job; it's an adventure. Steven Seagal comes aboard cooking and comes on fighting in a fireboat of a movie from the director of The Fugitive and The Guardian. When the USS Missouri welcomes entertainers for the battleship's last voyage as visitors for a party led by rogue CIA operative Tommy Lee Jones and turncoat officer Gary Busey. There are killer elite commandos out to hijack the ship's nuclear arsenal. They overpower the crew except for one man, the ship's cook, ex-Navy SEAL and decorated combat operative Casey Ryback. Seagal, all hands on deck. Action fans. Okay, right. I've been watching this. This is daft. There's no special features for this film. It's a good film too. Okay, right. I've been watching this stuff. I've seen it quite a few times on it, and it's still one of those movies you can just enjoy all the time. How many times you see it, never gets boring. The film, it's so enjoyable. And Steven Seagal is great in this movie, because I like the beginning of the film where you know it's in the kitchen one. Gary Busey's character spits in his food, and then Steven Seagal completely whacks him, and that's him. Then he gets thrown into the freezer with the meat thing and stuff like that. And the fact that the timing kind of sucks because Fingers men turn up on a helicopter on the way there with a girl called what's her name, character's name, Mrs. July, of course. She used to be on Baywatch, and it's got another actor, and I've seen him before. He's been on Street Fighter, played Ken on Street Fighter. I don't know what his name was, but and the fact that when they come on board, right, you think, oh, these guys, you do something didn't seem right with these guys. Something seems to be off. And Tommy Lee Jones is fantastic in this, but I think what the scene that kind of creeps me out a bit is with Gary Busey dressed as a woman. You think, something not quite right. I don't know. There's something not quite right with his character. The fact that when they do hijack the ship, right, a few characters get killed along the way, of course, which happens in these thrillers, action movies about terrorists and stuff like. And the film is so enjoyable. The part where there's a lot of great moments in this movie that I just think fantastic. I know the fact that Steven Seagal's character Ryback is still stuck in the freezer, right, of course. So thing is, man, Tommy Lee Jones, man, and all this, some of the men just, they kill the guard outside the freaking freezer, and they try to kill Steven Seagal's guard. And that scene was really well done. Kind of like, let's take this guy, let's take him out easy, of course. Steven Seagal's character turns out to be a bit of a handful in this movie, and I like the sense of humour this film has. Even the villains have a good sense of humour in this, and it's fun to watch. Tommy Lee Jones is really fun to watch. They're always good to watch. And the guy from Deep Space Nine, who plays O'Brien, is in this, and he's brilliant. And the thing about Steven Seagal, though, right? He has made some duds movies, but when he's made some good films, he's made some really good films. For instance, like this. Even the second one's good. Not giving him a good script. He's not a bad action hero. He's really good in this. Give him a good dialogue too. Where I some real fun. Like one funny sense of humour that he has in it, and I like it. I like it a lot. So yeah, cracking actions. This film has some great action scenes. So I'm just like, still a damn good action thriller. Like I said, Die Hard on a battleship. I agree with that. It's pretty much Die Hard on a battleship. Added with Steven Seagal. So anyway, I like the fact that when they do hijack the shit, right, of course. You got he meets up with the gorgeous Mrs. July. I mean, when she jumps out from that cake and and she's nude, well, almost nude, she's got no top on and stuff. And that scene was great. I like the fact he tells her the bad news that he's just a cook. Of course, he's more than just a cook. Of course, you know that when you're watching. The way a cook cannot fight like that. Gordon Ramsay can't fight like that. Gary Busey's great in this. He's fantastic. He plays. You can tell he doesn't really like his men in this movie, especially when they lock him down in that thing and they try drowning the men. And they lock him down in I can't remember, part of the ship or somewhere, right? And they try drowning the characters to drown his men just to freaking get Ryback to go towards them as a trap, But of course they didn't realise that Ryback has actually released some of the men from one of the rooms. So yeah, cracking action scenes. This film's good. I like this film a lot. It's one of those movies that you can watch again and again, not get bored of it. So yeah, like I said, Tommy Jones is crazy in this, but he's really entertaining to watch. He really is good in this. I mean, Tommy Jones is a brilliant actor. It's actually the same guy who actually directed The Fugitive, which is a brilliant movie too. Yeah. Like I say, if you give Steven Seagal a good script, like a good film like this with a good director and a good cast, you got a good film altogether. So yeah. So anyway, they have to go out and just stop the bad guys. So anyway, I like the last part of the movie where they use the battleship's gun, the Yuris, to blow up the submarine, and that scene was really good because I like Gary Busey, who's kind of his character's like, don't worry about it, then oh shoot, and they have to get away. They're trying to get away faster, and boom, the thing explodes. It's fantastic. It's a good scene. The film's got some absolute badass action scenes, explosions, and it's just good, really good to watch. No CGI, if it just real proper explosions, stuff like that. I love the last part where you got Tommy Jones' character versus Steven Seagal, and they have like a knife on knife action combat scene, and the part where he sticks his finger from right through Tommy Jones's eye, and you can see the blood coming out, and he sticks a knife through his head. That's overkill, that is, because he's dead anyway, and he throws him right through one of those screen things. And that scene was really done. It was just fantastic. I was just sitting there going, wow, that was crazy. That was like overkill, but in a good way, of course. It doesn't have an anti-climax to this film. It's just right. It's just right. The action scenes, the humour. It's a fun movie to watch. It's really fun. Steven Seagal movie. So yeah. Okay, what I didn't like. Okay, I'm gonna get to what I didn't like and what I did like about the film. What I didn't like about it. Nothing. I mean, it's one of those movies it's another one of those films that you're watching and you go, I can't think of anything I disliked about it. I mean, it's 1 hour, like 41 minutes, just the right time. No, nothing. I can't think of anything I disliked about it. Nothing negative I could say about it. So, what I liked about it, apart from Mrs. July jumping through the cake and she's all nude and stuff, I like that scene. Steven Seagal's great in it, of course. Great sense of humour. Tommy Lee Jones is brilliant. The guy from Deep Space Nine is fantastic in this. He's great. He's fantastic. Tommy Lee Jones, fantastic. Just that. Gary Busey, what can you say about that guy? He's so watchable. Yeah, so apart from that, I liked it. Really enjoyed it. Good action scenes. Good practical action scenes. No CGI. Of course, now they do CGI, explosion and stuff like that in movies. It's like, so yeah. Good action scenes, good performance from all the cast, even Steven Seagal. I wish I hate the guy. He's pretty solid in this. He's not the strongest actor ever, but he can hold his own when it comes to action scenes. So yeah, and he does really well in this film. I give him credit for that. So yeah, so the rating I'm going to give this film is a 4.5 out of 5 because loved it. Couldn't think of anything negative about the film. Great action, like I say. Decent, excellent performance from Tommy Lee Jones. Alright. He's fantastic as the bad guy, and it looks like there's a lot of fun in this film. So yeah, fantastic action scenes, like I said, awesome, loved it. So yeah, anyway, people, this is my review. So that's the first review. Final review is in this Under Siege movie reviews. Is Under Siege 2. Now I'm called Under Siege Dark Territory. Now I'll get to this view right now. Okay, read the back first. Okay, the man who rocked the boat in Under Siege 2 now charges like a locomotive. Steven Seagal returns as ex-SEAL Casey Ryback in this explosive encore adventure. A renegade electronics whiz, played by Eric Bogosian, sees the sleek Grand Continental passenger train, transforming it into a rolling command unit for an awesome weapons satellite. But the one passenger who eludes to capture is Ryback. The train is now a battleground. The satellite is locked onto its target, and an ongoing freight train hauling gasoline barring their way or aboard. Okay, right, I've been watching this now, and yeah, Steven Seagal returns as Ryback, and this time he's got his niece on board the train. Of course, it's not like a long film. It's a 1995 film. It takes place just a few years after the original one, and certain characters do make a returning characters in this film from the first film. Not everyone, not Tommy Lee Jones' character. He gets killed. He gets killed in the first one. Spoiler. And you've got this villain in it who's not as good as Tommy Lee Jones' character. It's still fun to watch. Tommy Lee Jones' character is just so fun in the first film. He's such a great character. But the character in this, the main villain, he's good still to watch, but he's not quite as good. Like I said, there's a few like world actors on this film. I've seen this one guy. He plays one of the villains. I can't remember what his name was, but he's kind of got short ears and stuff, and you can tell he's a villain straight away the way he talks and stuff. He's been on like People Under the Stairs. He plays one of those crazy characters in it who lives in that house with that woman. He's crazy in that film, but in this is pretty good still. Especially the hand-to-hand combat he has with Steven Seagal later on in the film. So anyway, they end up going on the train, of course. They're on the train, of course. Steven Seagal, of course, he's the chef, of course. His niece on there, like I said. Of course, these guys take over the train, of course, and some characters do get killed along the way in this film. It's a bit more violent than the first one. The first one was violent, but this one's a lot more violent. And very much action-packed. Yeah, I mean, Steven Seagal's still really good at this. He's not like I said, he's not the greatest actor ever. He's a strong actor, but he's a good action hero in this film. And he holds up. He does a great job. He does what Steven Seagal does best: is action, kick ass in it. I do like the stunt where on top of the train when you see him running and stuff. That's pretty cool. So it's kind of like a cat and mouse thing. They're all out trying to kill Steven Seagal's character, Ryback. Of course, you meet this guy on it. I can't remember what he did, but you meet this black guy on it because he's part of the comic relief on this. He's a funny character. I like the black guy on it. He's funny. I like the part where the girl in it, his niece, shows him like how to do a certain move, and she throws him forward and stuff. And he was like, "How the hell did you do that?" Like I said, I like the action scenes are great. The fight scenes are great. There's another part like in this film where he does like a Tom Cruise, hangs from the side of a cliff. It's not as impressive though. It's not quite as impressive, but it's still a funny scene. It's still a fun scene, especially with the guy when the villain comes down on the rope and he says, "Hi there," and he jumps onto the rope and I love that scene. It's just freaking great. He takes quite a few guys. Wires on the wires on the side of the. He does take quite a few characters down. But that scene was really good. I love the fight between the Fingers character, the guy from People Under the Stairs, and Steven Seagal's character, Ryback, with his hand-to-hand combat, the knives and stuff. That was pretty cool. Because certain parts of the film, right, where Steven Seagal, there's a part in the film where Steven Seagal's character gets shot by a woman sniper, and they're like, "Oh, he's dead." Nope, he's not dead. He's hiding under the train, of course. Even they're not stupid to believe it. They're like, "Hey, you gotta freaking make sure you find the body before you got a stupid doctor. You gotta find the body first before you actually say he's dead, because that's just a huge mistake to make." Well, the last part was pretty awesome. The last part of the movie where the trains collide, that scene was quite bonkers. I thought it was bonkers, but entertaining to watch at the same time. Because when they collide, Steven Seagal's character is like getting thrown, and then he's like he's fine lad. He starts running. And you know, he's trying to get away from the carnage and stuff. He's like keeps running when they get, because you see the helicopter turn up, man. The black guy goes up. It takes the woman out, which is brilliant. I thought that scene was funny. I love the part where, you know, like I said, the part where Steven Seagal kind of like, you know, tries to get away from the carnage. You know, right at the end of the freaking train, everything's just happening all at once. You know, massive explosions and stuff like that. It's like, you know, it's a funny scene. I don't know. I thought the scene was quite hokey. It's bonkers, but it's entertaining to watch because Steven Seagal's just running like that. And then he jumps onto the rope, and then, you know, the guy, before that though, right, before that scene happens, I like the part where, the thing is, the villain's holding like was it like a detonator or something, and he, you know, to shut off the freaking satellite, because it's targeted a certain, it's targeting something to destroy it, of course. And of course, Steven Seagal shoots it like this. I never thought of that, you know, he goes, I never thought of that. And he drops out the window, and then when he drops out the window, he's like, it's weird, that scene always baffles me. Why is it? He's like outside the window. I think, how the hell? That scene was baffling. I think he's outside, but somehow he gets back on the train, and he jumps onto the rope while Steven Seagal is. And that scene baffles me. I don't think, how the hell did he do that? There is certain parts of the movie that kind of baffle me, but it's still entertaining to watch. Very fun film. I mean, some of the effects are, I suppose, are badly aged. Some of it still is pretty good. But yeah, really entertaining film though. That last bit was just bonkers. I was sitting there going, huh? He was outside the train, and somehow he got back on the train, and I don't know, baffling. Must have superhuman strength to pull that off. So yeah. So what I didn't like about it, certain parts of the effects look a bit bad. Certain parts is badly done, but that's about it really. Some. It's an action movie. It's a Steven Seagal film. So yeah, like I said, some certain parts aren't really that well done. Like that's the last part, but not the train part. Actually, I like the train part. It's just the part where the guy gets knocked out the window. He somehow gets back on the train and just, you know, he's like, his head just goes, it's bobbing up and down like it's just weird. It looks like one of those freaking bobbleheads, you know, where the heads move like that. So yeah. Okay, anything I didn't like about it is but apart from that, what I liked about it, good action scenes, good characters in it, good villains, good action scenes, good death scenes. It's just, you know, Steven Seagal kicking ass with his hands, you know, martial arts, hand-to-hand combat. It's pretty fantastic. So yeah, really enjoyable and good sense of humour too. The film does. The first film had a good sense of humour. This one does. This follows up with the, you know, funny moments in it, like which I like. So yeah, the rating I give this film, when I cut this review short now, is a 4 out of 5 because I really enjoyed it. It's a fun movie. It's not perfect, but it's fun. It does have its faults, because when I first watched it, I was like, oh, I saw its faults, but then you watch it again, you're like, it's a fun bloody movie. Returning characters in it, which is great. I actually heard there was going to be a third film a while back. I'd like to see one on a plane probably. Maybe survives the song, because the last film it involved a plane. He dies in it, didn't it? So yeah, 4 out of 5 for Under Siege 2, Dark Territory. Very good film. Enjoyed it. So anyway, people, there's my review of both Under Siege movies. Hope you enjoy it. Remember, I'm going to go off now. Remember to subscribe to the channel. And have a nice day, have a nice evening, and I'm just a cook. See you later. Bye.